Today, we're diving deep into the one document that sits at the very heart of every single home sale, the contract. Now, this is where dreams get put down on paper, but it's also, believe it or not, where they can completely fall apart. We're going to break down how just a few small mistakes can spiral into huge problems, and we'll do it by following the story of one, let's just say, very memorable real estate transaction. All right, so let me just ask you something to get us started. When you think about a real estate deal, what do you picture as the most dangerous tool in the whole process? Maybe about appraisal? A leaky roof from an inspection report? Something else? Well, the real answer, it's probably going to surprise you. Yep, a simple pen. In the wrong hands, or even in the hands of someone who's just trying to be helpful, a pen can change a legal document in ways that can make an entire deal just completely unravel. Today, we're going to see exactly how that happens, and more importantly, how you can make sure it doesn't happen to you. But before we get into all the drama and the things that go wrong, we really need to set a baseline. We need to understand what normal even looks like. So let's take a quick look at what a smooth, by-the-book real estate deal is supposed to involve. Okay, so here we have a totally standard deal. You've got the Villanueva selling their house to the De Leons and Hill family. Price is set at $265,000. The buyers have a conventional loan, they've put down their earnest money, and everybody's agreed on a closing date. All the key pieces are right here. This is our normal. Now, let's introduce a little bit of chaos. And this is where we meet the star of our cautionary tale, sales agent Velma Stitch. Now, Velma, she's great. She's eager, she's always on time, and she really just wants to make her clients happy. But in her quest to be super helpful, she makes her first and maybe biggest mistake with that dangerous little tool we just talked about. So the sellers want to keep their pool cleaning equipment. Seems simple enough, right? A totally reasonable request. And Velma thinks so too. So she just grabs her pen and, zeep, draws a line right through those words in the pre-printed contract. Problem solved, right? Well, here's the thing. Standard real estate contracts are designed the way they are for a very, very good reason. There is literally a section in the contract called exclusions, designed for this exact situation. Instead of just striking out legal text, she should have simply listed the pool equipment right there. What seemed like a quick fix was actually a huge procedural foul. So Velma already made a mistake with the structure of the contract. But her next move? This is where we go from just bad procedure to a really serious violation. She puts down her pen and starts misusing her words. Okay, picture this. The buyer has a totally legitimate concern about something called a pipeline easement on the property. That means someone else, like a utility company, has a legal right to use part of his land. So he asks Velma, hey, should I talk to a lawyer about this? And Velma, just trying to keep the deal moving smoothly, tells him, nah, don't worry about it. A lawyer would just be an unnecessary expense. So, what do you think? Is she just being a great, reassuring agent? The answer is a huge, resounding no. What Velma did is actually called the unlawful practice of law. A real estate agent's job is to manage the transaction, the buying and selling part. It is absolutely not their job to interpret legal documents or give legal advice. By telling the buyer that easement wasn't a big deal, she crossed a major professional line and put everyone, herself, her broker, and her client, at some serious risk. And this is where everything really starts to snowball. Velma's mistakes are now starting to stack on top of each other. She's mishandled the property exclusions, she's given illegal advice, and now a couple of tiny clerical errors are about to blow up the entire timeline of the deal. And get this, the irony here is just incredible. Velma, who is a very punctual person, adds the phrase, time is of the essence, to the contract to make sure everyone stays on schedule. But then she forgets two of the most time-sensitive things, collecting the buyer's option fee, that's the small payment that gives them the right to walk away, and making sure the broker fills in the effective date. And that effective date, it's not just some date you fill in a blank. It is the starting pistol for the entire race. That one date starts the countdown for everything else. The buyer's option period to back out, the deadline for getting their financing approved, the deadline for delivering the property survey, everything. Without that date, none of those deadlines mean anything at all. The clock never even starts. So Velma's story really drives home a massive point here. The contract is king. These standard state-approved forms, they aren't just suggestions. They are incredibly sophisticated legal tools that have been developed over years and years to be strong, to be fair, and to cover all the bases. I mean, think about it. This one single form has to be tough enough to handle a wild variety of situations. Each one of these financing types, conventional, FHA, VA loans, you name it, they all have their own set of unique rules and requirements. The contract is designed to be the solid foundation for all of them, which is exactly why you can't just grab a pen and start crossing things out. So here's the bottom line. The system is actually designed to protect everybody involved, but only if you follow the rules. Velma's story shows how trying to find shortcuts, even when you mean well, can lead you way off track. But the contract itself, it gives you the ultimate safeguard. So let's end with this one final question. After everything we've seen, after all the mistakes and the close calls, what is the single most important piece of advice that the contract itself gives to you? It's sitting right there in plain sight, practically begging you to take one last critical step before you sign on the dotted line. Consult an attorney. It's written right there, in bold, in paragraph 23. The very document that an agent is not allowed to give legal advice on explicitly tells you to go get legal advice from a qualified professional. If Velma's buyer had just followed that one simple instruction, every single one of her mistakes could have been caught and fixed. It's the ultimate failsafe, and it's the one thing you have to remember when you're facing down that most dangerous tool in real estate.